It's the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Funny Comics Fan Club.
What is this? You're talking to everyone like they're 7 years old.
That's right, John, I am.
I mean, they might have been when they read these comics.
That's a blooming good point.
I can understand it from that point of view. So, yeah, well done.
Well, amazing. This will exciting treat you. I haven't told you this yet, John, but actually, when this here comic came out, I was exactly minus 5 years old.
This came out on your birthday.
For the purpose of the tape, we are both pointing to the date now.
19th of June 1965, this comic came out.
If anybody wants to use that as an excuse to buy me birthday presents, please do.
Is this the oldest comic we've looked at?
It's the oldest one we've looked at so far, yeah.
So this is Wham. Nothing to do with the group later on of the 80s, I presume.
Or is it?
Was it?
George Michael an avid reader of Wham comic? We don't know that.
Nothing to do with the pop artist who had a painting that had Wham written on it. You know what I mean. Not Warhol, the other one.
Roy Lichtenstein?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, though, is it, though? Now, this is my question to you. Could it be linked to all that sort of thing? Could it be linked to pop art?
But why is this called Wham in the first place? I mean, when was Batman? Was that after this?
That was around this time, Batman, wasn't it? It's around the mid-60s, yeah.
So the word was in the air, perhaps.
Well, also, but it's pop art words, isn't it? So Wham, because there were 3 comics. So hang on, let's do the history of this. So this comic started in 1964 when Leo Baxendale, who's
King of Funny Comics,
was lured over to Oldham's Press from DC Thompson. They paid him a huge amount of money to come and do it. And basically, he drew nearly all of the strips. But it was meant to be a new kind of comics. And this one was called Wham. And then after that, you had Pow and Smash. So I'm wondering, whether old Leo Baxendale there wasn't a bit influenced by the pop art idea.
Obviously, words like wham and thwack and oof, they were all in the Beano as well.
They were, yeah.
So maybe that was something to do. I mean, it must have been something to do with it. It's interesting. It says at the start of the comic, right at the top, "Stand by for laughs. You're looking at Britain's funniest comic."
It does.
That's what it says. And then you read the story below.
Right. I fear
I take issue with that statement.
Well, I mean, we haven't read what the other comics were.
We haven't read the other 53 issues up to this point.
No, I mean, not this. No, the other comics are out at the time. What million was Wham thrust into?
I don't know. What was it thrust into? Is it Beano?
It's the Beano and the Dandy. And all
maybe.
This. Well, when you look at all those comics, I mean, again, you would be pleased to hear I have a thesis about this comic. As I like to have a thesis.
I'm over the moon about it.
I bet you look at it. Readers, his little face lit up.
Yeah, the opposite of that.
I think we always think about Leo Baxendale, who generated this comic. He's like, it's the Bash Street Kids and all that stuff that he did the Beano. But really, I think what's going on here is Leo Baxendale in this comic is basically inventing modern British comics.
Right.
Because this reads like every other, like Whoopee and Cheeky and all those IPC comics. They're much later on the current versions of the Beano. They're all based on this. This is so different from even the Beano comics we looked at from the 70s and 80s, which are quite very stable.
Yeah, they're sort of traditional in their approach, whereas this is a lot madder.
It's a lot madder, isn't it?
A lot more manic,
loopy, yeah.
A lot more slapstick.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Three Stooges or something, or the Goodies or something. That I think they might have been. Were they around? I don't think they were around quite yet.
It's like
the cartoons, the Warner Brothers cartoons, maybe.
It's like the Goodies, but funny.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think this comic, strangely enough, I don't think it's dated that much. Some of it has, bits of it has.
Bits of it really have.
But in the main, I think it's held up really well.
I think that's because so many of the comics are based on it, because it feels like a modern comic, because this is where they all come from, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
But I mean, there are really weird things going on in it, as we shall find out. But I mean, this is, if this is such a great comic, why did they put this twit on the front? Biff, who I guess must have had fights with people every now and then.
He does. He has fights with people. That's what.
Like a lot of these characters, but once again, we see him not having a fight with anybody here. So all he's doing in this is just pulling faces, and then at the end, the editor says, "Some girl sent a letter in saying she thought Biff was an ugly little twerp, so Biff had to show her he could be a lot worse." It's just not even a joke or anything. It's just there.
I just think it's kind of funny that some girl It's like, oh, because again, this doesn't sound like the editor's voice in the Beano, does it? It's just some bloke turning going, some girl said this.
But I don't know, the editor of this magazine is drawn here. He looks fairly normal. He doesn't look.
He looks a bit like Walt with a Softie, in fact, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah,
That's who he
he doesn't look particularly. He doesn't stand out in any way, and neither does Biff. I mean, who's ever heard of Biff?
I've never heard of Biff.
So I think that's like that put me on the back foot because I just thought,
Right.
okay, what's that?
Well, let's dig in. Let's go to so the Wax is the first one I wanted to look at.
The Wax is the name of this particular strip.
The Wax. It's called E-Whack.
So it's meant to be from Liverpool.
It's meant to be from Liverpool, as you could tell from my brilliant accent. Then, yeah.
So 1965, the Beatles were just kicking off.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of reflection of that sort of thing, I guess.
It's really interesting to read a comic like this that's from the actual time it was happening. I mean, I guess they've all got big mop tops at this point, and the Beatles are just doing. I think Rubber Soul came out around the time.
Okay, so they're slightly psychedelic.
The way it looks is based on how they looked a year or two ago, but still, the way the characters talking and the way they act, it feels like, oh, this is the actual 60s. This is a thing from actually then.
There's a group of three kids. I presume the name of the group is the Wax.
I assume so, yes.
And he's playing his guitar. He jumps up in the air, comes down, and his legs get stuck.
Yeah.
Mark, speaking as a singer-songwriter, how often does that happen to you?
Not more than once or twice a year, really, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it must be something...
It is a peril, yeah.
Yeah, you have to think about these things, and here's what to do.
Yeah.
So the group basically takes him by the legs to the local doctor, and they hang him on a peg so his legs don't hit the floor, so he's dangling about. I'm taking over here. You're the expert.
Well, no, and then basically the doctor gives him some grease on his knees, doesn't he?
Yeah, grease on his knees.
That sorts him out.
And but the doctor's quite aggressive about it. They don't like it.
They don't like it at all. No.
The next thing you know, the doctor comes back and he slips over on the very grease that he's used, and then all the gang come back in and start doing the same thing to him. So Yabu sucks to the doctor.
It doesn't make an awful lot of sense. It's quite jolly, isn't it? It doesn't make a lot of sense. But then I thought the big thing that I wanted to think about with this is on the opposing page for that, there's like a text page about this guy called Sean Phillips.
There's a massive picture of this bloke playing an acoustic guitar, and there are little cartoons of the Whack band sort of pointing at him.
Yeah. And then the text starts by saying, he's a mate of our mate Donovan, and in the short time we've known him, he's been a good mate of ours too. And if the Barron Knights are any judges of talent, I mean...
And they're not.
This young Texan is going right to the top. The other week, we paid a visit to a recording studio to listen and watch the Duke Dumont of the Knights making a new LP. I love the idea that the Wham editorial team, they just hang around in studios. Donovan says, hey guys, come on down. Come and join me to play some songs.
Leo Baxendale goes down to see the Barrow Knights every so often.
Yeah.
And this is the result.
It's like, what? What's going on?
What do you mean? Where did that come from?
Are there that few people living in London in the swinging 60s that they all just end up in Abbey Road at some point, hanging out?
I mean, what is it? So somebody must have had a press agent somewhere that just said, can you feature some singers and we'll give you some money?
That doesn't seem likely to me. I think generally the editorial team just hang around in studios.
Because why have they gone to the Barron Knight studio? What's Donovan doing round there? And what's this Sean Phillips got to do with it?
Just hanging out, John. That's what happens. It's the 60s, man.
No one's ever heard of Sean Phillips then or now. I mean,
I've looked him up. I had a
look.
And it turns out he did actually have a career. And he did...
But nobody noticed.
No, indeed, no. Nobody noticed. But he played with some Donovan songs, didn't he?
Yeah, the Wikipedia page, which must be wrong, says that he sang backing vocals on Lovely Rita.
Yeah, that's not impossible.
It's not impossible. There's no way of checking that, but...
there is a way of checking that. I've gone
ask the Beatles.
Paul, the Wax here.
No, I don't think we've ever heard of him.
No.
That wasn't Paul.
But I have listened to his album because the song they're talking about.
You listened to the whole album?
I haven't listened to the whole album. I've listened to
You listened to the triple box set when it came out.
Well, they say
they're talking about a single he's putting out. This must be the first ever single. Yeah. This obscure artist ever put out.
They've heard him singing. They say, tell me, having heard Sean singing "Hey Nelly, Nelly" and "Solitude," Baron Anthony summed up for all of us. Sean, the man's dead right. You're great, just great. It's not something good for me. It's bloody awful. It really is.
Did you hear "Hey Nelly, Nelly"? I couldn't.
I did that. No, it's on his album. His album's
on what? On where?
His album's on YouTube. His album is called "I'm a Loner," and you listen to it, and it's like I can tell why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no wonder his song's about solitude. I mean, But I actually, the only song I could find of his out of these two, out of this single, was Solitude. And I listened to it. It's not a great big wacky zany groovy dance number for the kids, is it?
It's certainly
It's some
not.
pillock sitting there with an acoustic trying to sing a bit like Bob Dylan and failing. I mean, I guess Dylan was sort of pretty big in '65, yeah,
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah,
acoustically and all that. He'd had the
This is
freewheeling and all that
I
kind of.
was 61 revisited.
I was 61.
Yeah.
So this guy, yeah, it sounds like he's in the mould of things like trying to be like Bob Dylan. Because all the B-side, all that was just a voice and a guitar and not very good song.
Well, he's a couple of years behind, isn't he? Because Donovan's not trying to sound like Dylan anymore. He's doing Jennifer Jr.
Right.
and all this sort of thing. So,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Sean Phillips, get a life.
Yeah. But it's, well, I do believe he did have a life. I mean, he may well have passed away at this point, in which case, commiserations to
all his fans.
To all his fans.
But I must admit, this makes me want to look at some other issues of this and see what other weird
I know.
artists they're sort of featuring.
Because it's that thing in it, when everybody goes, oh, the 60s were amazing. And then if you listen to a show that goes, and now we're going to play the top 10 songs from this week in the 60s, you go, God, this is bloody awful.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
terrible.
The heights are really extraordinary, and there was a lot of dross.
There was a lot.
And therefore we see Sean Phillips here.
Thank you, Sean. Well, shall we move on then?
Let's see if we can, because this comic is falling to pieces, unfortunately. Now, the Tiddlers, the kids from Canal Road School. So this is a Leo Baxendale creation, and it's quite a lot like the Bash Street Kids.
Exactly like the Backstreet Kids.
There is one difference at this point.
What's that then?
The difference at this point is that the teacher behaves like one of the kids.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's the big difference. Apparently, later on, it went back to the normal idea of having a big teacher as the normal person, because there's no conflict in this, because the teacher's exactly like the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if Leo Baxendale drew this. I guess he did.
I think he did. He certainly looks like Leo Baxendale, doesn't it?
The detail of this first panel.
It's gorgeous.
Nobody else would have bothered.
Hundreds and hundreds of kids rampaging behind a carty.
And that teacher's on it, and it's being pulled by two other kids, and then they're all chasing the headmaster who's got a cat on his head. I mean, it's a brilliant picture.
A very Leo Baxendale cat, isn't it?
I mean, I really like this strip, but yeah, the teacher's just like one of the kids. They're all playing tricks on him, and he's fine with it. Then Podge comes in. Guess what that sort of character Podge is?
It's called Podges.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself. But anyway, he comes in. He's got his breakfast, which is a mountain of fish and chips, and then the teacher wants a couple of chips. Now, okay, there were two panels in this particular comic that, to me, are probably the most troubling we've ever looked at.
Really?
Two panels, right? One of them is this panel. You've got Podge, this little kid.
Oh my goodness!
Stabbing a fork through the teacher's hand.
And it's coming out the bottom of his hand.
I mean, it just looks gruesome, to say the least.
Good Lord, yes.
That struck me as blue and violet. I mean, it's almost like, worse than Tom and Jerry or something. Pretty horrible, but nevertheless quite effective. And then Podge, he goes and sits on a lampshade and starts scoffing, and then they all chase after him. And at one point, he's trying to run out of the classroom with his fish and chips, but the teacher rugby tackles him to the ground.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that now, would you? Wouldn't be able to do that.
Don't think that'll be Ofsted approved.
I don't think so, not these days. And then the fish and chips goes flying out of his hands, straight into the headmaster's mouth, who's just come in the door. And he's quite pleased about getting these fish and chips for breakfast. And then everyone decides not to talk to Podge as a result. And there's this sort of weird moralising at the end. I guess it doesn't pay to be greedy, but it's bonkers, and I thought it was great.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? I think it's a bit weird that the battered fish. I mean, maybe battered fish looked very different in the 60s when you basically went to the fish and chip shop and they gave you a whole fish.
Yeah, it's almost still alive. It
looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, but no, I think it's cool. I mean, it's a bit unfair, as you say, on Podge at the end. It's like going, but he was having his breakfast.
It is unfair,
and you were trying to steal it all. But it's just, I think it's funny how Bash Streety it is. But it's like he's.
It's even madder than what I've seen with the Bash Street Kids.
It's like Leo Baxendale's cranking it up, I think, isn't it? I think that's the whole thing of this. He's like, we're just going to go further and make it more crazy than it's been before.
So what do we know about? What do you know about Leo Baxendale? I mean, because I don't know a massive amount about him.
I know he basically fell out with DC Thompson. Is my understanding of it.
Right.
So say they paid him the equivalent of £140,000 a year. He was paid
God, to do this comic. No wonder it's good.
He's basically the British Jack Kirby sort of thing, because he was so full of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing there's a program, isn't there, Comics Britannia, is that right? And one of them has got an interview with him.
Yeah,
and he's talking about how he would just stay up all night drawing these little details in these panels, and in the end he couldn't do it anymore. Just he almost had a breakdown over it.
Yeah,
because he was so obsessed with being just really the best, or one of the best, the best he could be, I suppose.
Because he stopped working for DC Thompson, he stopped working for Oldham's that became IPC or part of IPC, and then he did his own comics. And then there's you remember the Willie the Kid books in the 70s, and he was doing things like that, and that became even splodgier and more manic and crazy.
But he's sort of seen as the key figure in sort of funny English comics, is he?
Yeah, he is. And I must say, while we've been doing this podcast, I've been sort of thinking, but there's so many more people after Leo Baxendale who were great.
Yeah.
But then it's interesting now, having come back to this in like 92, this is, I think, one of the earliest, if not the earliest one we looked at. And just looking at what he's doing here, it's like he's kind of creating everything else that came after him.
So that's hence the Jack Kirby sort of comparison.
Yeah. Also, because he's a working class creative. He's coming through a commercial area. You know, he's not a fancy person in any way, shape, or form, but his mind is so full of things. It's amazing.
And then I think this next strip might have been Ken Reed.
Yes.
Frankie Stein. It's an early Frankie Stein. I mean, he went on to have his own holiday specials and things like that. And he was in Monster Fun a lot and all this sort of stuff.
And he was in Shiver and Shake. And he eventually ended up being in Whoopee for years and years and years.
Right. I might have got some of that wrong, so I apologise.
I think you're all correct.
But then we come to Eagle Eye Junior Spy. Now, is this Leo Baxter?
This is Leo Baxter, yes.
So this is a kid's secret agent. I would have loved this. You know, like most kids at the time, I loved anything about secret agents. James Bond was big at this point.
Yeah.
Just starting to be. But so it says here, Eagle Eye Junior Spy. Eagle Eye and his pals have stopped Grimley Feendish robbing a bullion ship, but they all land in the sea, faced by sharks. So then you've got this little spy, Eagle Eye Junior Spy, in the sea with a couple of his mates, but also this Grimley Fiendish villain who's dressed as a pirate.
And lots of jelly babies.
I would have liked to have read some more issues of this, because I could not fathom these peculiar jelly babies that were sort of surrounding the...
Because it's a continuing story, isn't it? It reads like a comedy, but it is a continuing story, and there's a cliffhanger on everything.
So it doesn't explain what these jelly baby creatures are.
No.
So I was slightly confused by that.
I was very confused by that.
So I think Leo Baxendale must have been influenced by The Goon Show, because there are two references to The Goon Show in this one strip, right? So there's a bit where Eagle Eye Junior Spy, he gets his nose slammed in a door, and he says, "Rotten swine." That is the Blue Bottle's catchphrase. Blue Bottle from The Goon Show used to say, "You redhead swang," all the time. So that to me is a reference to the Goons. And then later on you've got a reference to a Colonel Thin. Peter Sellers played a character called Gritpipe Thin.
Right. So
I reckon it's a fairly good bet that he was a big Goon Show fan, which is similar sort of humour in a way, just nuts.
Yeah. And also they have also, of course, fallen in the water.
That's true. But it's pretty funny. And this weird jelly baby creature fires an arrow at Grimley Feendish and pulls him out of an airship into the sea, as you do. And then you've got this Sergeant Bung of MI5 and a half. He's zooming out to sea in his inflatable rubber boots. And then he gets a gun and squirts some sharks with the fluid from his sort of gun, and it all turns to ice, so none of the sharks can move. I thought that was really funny, or really inventive. I mean, I would have loved anything like this as a kid. Guns that fire things that make stuff freeze. That's brilliant. Basically, Grimley Fiendish, he ends up going back to Britain. One of the jelly babies follows him, and then the cliffhanger is that Grimley Fiendish discovers the jelly baby and is going to jump on him. But he's described as an electronic plastic jelly baby here, so why it matters that he's going to get tramped on, I don't know, if he's just plastic.
See, I've been listening to you describe this storyline.
I'm sorry to hear that.
This sounds absolutely potty.
It is nuts.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's insane. It is a bit goonish.
But it also feels, again, it's this thing where you're reading, it's like going, this was like all of the comics, especially IPC comics you looked at, they're all a bit like that. I think it's interesting. I think what comes after this isn't quite as mad as this.
No,
It very rarely gets into this level of excitement, but it's
because there's a lot going on in this.
There's a lot.
It's really sort of, it's quite engaging. It's engagingly done, and obviously the product of a mad genius.
Because Grimley Feendish is the big star of it, isn't it? And it's like he got his own comic strip. Where's my piece of paper?
Smash, I think.
In Smash, yeah, he got his own comic strip there. I remember when I was reading comics fanzines in the 80s, and I would see your Alan Moores and that generation. They would talk about Grimley Feendish. I'm remembering this, and Alan Moore brought back Grimley Feendish in a series called Albion as this really terrible big baddie. The Damned did a song called Grimley Feendish.
So this character had a life of its own after Wham.
Yeah,
and a bit like George Michael.
Yeah,
but
very much like George Michael.
I'm like Andrew Ridgely,
but it was brilliant, wasn't it?
I
love it. Fantastic.
I thought it was great. I mean, if you're a kid, you're going to want to read this. It's a bit like, I mean, I used to like Secret Squirrel, which I guess would have been created around the same time. You know, a squirrel that was a spy, and he had a stupid assistant called Morocco Mole who used to speak like Peter Lorre. I mean, God, hello, Secret, what are you doing? You know, it's all like that. I mean, that was lost on me at the age of 7 for some reason. But anyway, we like Eagle Eye.
Although I should say, just a content warning before we go any further, I have mentioned the damn song Grimley Feendish. You're probably better off listening to Sean Phillips.
Thank you, Mark, for that musical advice. Now look at this thing here. This is, to me, another really unusual page.
This is with Danny Dare. This is strange. Do you want to explain to the readers what it's about?
Danny Dare. He's Dan Dare's #1 fan.
Yeah.
So that tells you quite a lot. So you've got this kid. He's in his go-kart yet again. They were big in '65. And he's trundling down the hallway. I know he's outside.
He's outside.
Can't tell. He's outside.
There's a tree.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So a dog wanders past him.
That's your clue, you see. Next time you're confused, see if there's any trees. And go, I'm outside. It's fine.
It looks more like a sort of, I don't know what it looks like, but I mean, it's the easiest tree you could possibly draw. There's no sort of foliage.
It's not a complicated tree.
There's no foliage.
There's no foliage now.
Call me off-fashioned, but there's no foliage.
Well, it's June, isn't it? So you'd think there would be, yes.
Exactly. I'm going to write to the papers about it. So anyway, this kid in his go-kart, there's a dog trundling past him, so he has to throw his brake out to stop before he hits the dog.
Yes, and what is it? His brake is a brick on a bit of string.
Yeah, not well thought out.
But I assume, because as we've discussed many times before, I had a kartie in the 1970s. It did not have a brake.
No, neither did. No, I don't. None of them had a brake. There was a brick with a string on it.
I don't know.
That wouldn't have worked.
I thought it would have worked. It's like an anchor, isn't it?
An anchor would have worked.
If you throw a brick.
If you had an anchor on the back of it.
Well, if you had an anchor on the back, be sensible. If you have an anchor on a massive boat, that's fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it sink?
We haven't got time to think of this. This is no. Relative to a kartie, a brick is about the same as an anchor on a boat. Just say.
I'm not buying this. But Danny Dare, right? So the point of it is that he's Dan Dare's #1 fan. So he starts imagining what Dan Dare would do in a similar situation. This is fascinating to me because you then see what he's imagining, and it is Dan Dare in a totally different style.
Yeah.
A totally different artistic style. You'll have to look at this on the socials.
I think it's a different artist drawing the Dan Dare interludes, isn't it?
It's really creative, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's also promoting Eagle comic as well. Because at the end it says Dan Dare fans follow his adventures every week in Eagle. They're cross-promoting it.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because it's right at the very end of Dan Dare. Because Dan Dare, incredibly, what happens is Dan Dare retires. I didn't know that. He retires. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Puts his feet up, gets his pipe out, watches the telly.
Because Dan Dare was the Frank Bellamy Dan Dare was in the 50s. So this is a long time. Dan Dare's been out for a long time at this point. And
maybe they might have been trying to sort of bulk up sales a bit by mentioning it in another comic.
But it's interesting because I think we've seen other things where characters have thought they're like a superhero or a character of the telly. But I've never seen anything like this where they think they're a comic character from another comic.
I mean, I guess this is Baxendale again, I guess. I'm not sure.
I don't think this is at this point, no.
Maybe he thought of it, though.
I think he thought of it, yeah.
So, he's just comparing what's happening to him, the present, to what he imagines Dan Dare might be doing in a similar situation. I just found it really interesting because it's like nothing else I've seen in this comic so far, and don't think I will do again. And I think it works, actually. I liked it. But unfortunately, we come to the second troubling picture in this blooming thing.
Yes. I think I know which one you're going to talk about here.
So there's a bit where Danny Dare, he steals his father's bell.
Well, what happens is he throws out his brick as a break, doesn't he? And then his father trips over it. That's what's happened. Yeah, but then at the end of it...
He says... Coo, I know this safety belt isn't going to save me from a belting. Ow. And then the last picture is Danny Dare getting a belting from his father with this belt. And what makes it look even worse to me is that it's in silhouette.
Yeah.
It's just a really sort of disturbing picture to me. Yeah.
It's like they know it's so horrific. They can't show what it really looks like.
So they put it in silhouette, but that makes it look even worse.
It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah.
This is, So
it's one of these weird occasions where you are reminded this is a very different time, because like the Beanos and stuff that we looked at when they get slippery, that's one. But actually getting a belt out, it's astonishing, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's meant to be the wacky ending.
And all that's happened is his dad's tripped over something. It's not like he's absolutely.
Worrying. But moving on to the humbug, which I believe you want to catch. A bit lighter fare.
It is a bit light, but again, I just thought it just feels really different because they've got a dog, and then the dog gets off the leash, and then the dad goes, "Oh yeah, we've lost the dog." And that's it.
Right. Yeah, we've lost the dog. No more pets for you.
Yeah. And he's like, actually, you lost the dog. You were walking the dog. And it's like, they're not going like, oh yeah, let's go and put some posters up. They're going, oh well, never mind. Dogs are too a penny. It's the 60s, whatever.
And the dog doesn't come back at the end.
He does not. No, he doesn't.
He's gone. He's lost forever.
It's just to go, that's odd.
Yeah, that is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a bit strange. But I mean, this strip is quite strange.
It is.
Because then they say, can we have white mice then, Dad? Why do they want that? Anyway, they've decided, why do they want white mice?
I imagine, because when we was at school, you'd have like gerbils and hamsters. Maybe in the 60s, that wasn't a thing yet. You can have a dog or a cat. That's pet A. Pet B, a budgie, if you're an old lady. You could have tortoises then, couldn't you?
You could, I suppose. Can you not now?
You can't have tortoises now. No.
Why not?
Because it's horrible. Because
it's cruel.
It's cruel. Yeah, it's cruel to have a tortoise. Yeah,
there you go.
But so if you see a tortoise around now, either it's an illegal tortoise, in which case it will go at high speed to get away from you, or it's just a really old tortoise. Because they're not going to go, well, you've had this tortoise in the family for 90 odd years.
Excuse me, sir. How long have you had this tortoise? we must take you in for questioning. The tortoise will arrive in its own time. But
so maybe then it was like, so the only other pet goes, it's mice. I
might have mice. I love the way
what happens is they have a demo.
The kids have a demo.
They have a demo.
And they rope in some of the mice that are in the area.
Yeah, mice are fab, they say. And there's a little cat. Yeah, so the kids are saying mice are fab, we want mice and all that. And there's a cat just graffitiing on a wall, mice are horrible. It's lovely, yeah.
So that's a nice little detail, really nice. So he decides to let them have them, these mice. Anyway, we should ponder on that another time. But yeah, they decide to buy some mice that have been trained by a circus.
Indeed, as one would.
In the end, they'll start attacking the father, which is nicely drawn, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous, yeah.
There's loads of things going on in it,
but it is really cool. But then I like the way that goes. Oh yeah, we've assumed, circus mice. That's a thing. It's like going circus mice.
Yeah, they're in every pet shop you'll ever see.
I mean, a flea circus. There's a flea circus, isn't there?
Maybe. I don't even know if there even was a flea circus. I don't know if that's...
The word flea circus was like an automatic thing, where things would move around on a table and they go, oh, the joke is it's fleas doing it.
Right.
That will be, and therein lay the humour.
Hence Michael Bentine had a flea circus, hence, again, a reference to the Goon Show.
Hence, indeed.
But, I mean, it's a great picture, isn't it? Things happening to him, there's all these mice in little planes firing water at his nose and all this sort of stuff going on. Really good. That's what really a comic is.
It's really good fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's brilliant.
That would be, unless it was an animation, you couldn't do this in any other medium.
No. Well, unless you trained some mice in the mice circus, then I would assume this would be meat and drink to them, wouldn't it? Goes, yes, we'll do that. Moving
swiftly on. Now, Mark, why did you want to look at this strip?
Billy Bins and his wonderful specs.
What the hell is this all about?
What is it? So Billy Bins and his wonderful specs. I've done some research. You'll be pleased to hear.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to do it.
Yeah. And so this is actually a spin-off of another series called The Boys of Casterford School. So The Boys of Casterford School was one of these. It's one of those stories where it's at a boarding school. So you still got. I think by the time we got around to reading comics, you didn't get that story very often in boys' comics. There was Winker Watson in The Dandy, wasn't there?
Which we hated.
Which was I'd rather read Biffo the Bear than Winker Watson. I hated that. But you got them in girls' comics. But this was a boys' boarding school story. There were lots and lots of different boys in there with all different things. And then this guy, Billy Binns, was given his own strip.
It must have been terrible.
Imagine, can you imagine? And the idea of Billy Binns and his wonderful specs is it's called Binns because Binns is a name for spectacles, as you may recall. And whenever he puts his spectacles on, I think what happens is he becomes a bit braver.
I think he gets superpowers.
I think his superpower is he's brave. I think that's all that happens.
No, I think he gets.
What evidence?
But first of all, the style of drawing is different to the rest of the comic, isn't it? It's sort of straight. It's straight adventure. Yeah. But this has got, at the end, it's got, make sure you follow the laughs next week. I mean, I'm trying to find them.
There are no laughs, are there?
No, none. So if you can follow them, good luck. But this story, I mean, as we're coming into it in the middle of this serialized tale.
Yes.
It's very hard to tell what's going on.
I don't see what the confusion is. Obviously, the school has gone off on an away day.
An away day?
Yes, because they're all on their cycles, cycling around, aren't they, having fun? And Billy has gone scuba diving away from the group and met a sea serpent.
I thought it was the Loch Ness Monster. Is it just a sea serpent?
Well, I don't know. Are they in a lock or anything?
I don't know.
Does it stipulate? It does not stipulate, does it?
There's no stipulation about what we're seeing here.
But he does say, at one point, he says his superpowers return, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's got some sort of superpowers.
Yeah. But he doesn't realise. I think that's the thing. He doesn't
realise that it's to do with his glasses.
He doesn't realise it's to do with his glasses.
After all this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Billy Thickhead, I think you
I think that's probably what they should have called him, yeah.
But really, I mean, I wouldn't give tuppence for this strip.
Yeah.
This is not Leo Baxton.
It's not Leo Baxton, is it? And there's a thing where, like, a fish hits him in the face and he knocks his glasses off. And you think, like...
Yeah, that's like...
That's just silly.
Unfortunate.
Everything else I could go along with.
I feel slightly sorry for him now.
Okay.
I mean, I also feel sorry for him being in this naff story, but...
Maybe it's because he's got a specs wearer, so a natural finish.
There's 9 panels, 9 pictures in this. A lot's going on, but we can't tell what any of it is.
Not a job of making.
So I don't know. I think we'll leave Billy Binns to his wonderful specs. Now,
right.
This brings me to this point. Okay, we've had 53 of these issues, right? Mm-hmm. There is no reader interaction.
There is no reader interaction. You're right.
Nothing.
John, you are right again. Please stop it. You're freaking me out.
I've been right twice in the last 10 seconds, but that was just for the same thing, actually. The only interaction comes via this advert from Lion's Mane. Win as many toys as you can collect in 6 minutes.
Oh, you love that sort of thing. That's your favourite thing.
Well, this reminds me of Jackpot comic when they were doing things like that. But this is obviously a really early version of this, but it wasn't. This didn't come out of the comics budget. This is from Lion's Mane, and it's a Zoom competition. Zoom lollies. So it's quite difficult. It's really difficult.
Well, there's a terrifying image, isn't there? There's this and what you have to do, there's a picture of some children sitting around what looks like a sandcastle Dalek, and their faces have been removed. Their faces have been erased. Yeah. And then there are a bunch of faces that you can choose from. There are more faces. There are more faces than kids, and you choose which face goes with which child. I found this a bit spooky. I didn't like it at all.
Well, it's just really complicated. It's just really difficult. I think that's why the prize is so good, because I think no one's ever going to get.
Well, you get 5 tries, don't you? You get 5.
You get 5 tries.
There's a whole grid.
You get 5 tries, but only if you buy 5 Zoom lollies.
Oh, is that how it works?
So I guess financially, Zoom lollies are doing well out of this. I mean, someone can just decide that nobody's right. Yeah, they don't have to do anything.
What was the correct answer ever published? Did these children ever emerge from their hellish existence refaced?
I don't know, but what I also found funny was it says here, because you have to write a sentence as well on your on your sort of entry form, which says Zoom ice lollies are made by Lion's Mane. So remember that. And it says it.
You have to write that down.
You have to write it down. Yeah.
Can you really?
Yeah. That's the second
part. Copy this sentence.
Not only do you have to do this impossible things with faces, You have to write the sentence down as well.
Is that like that thing where you have to spot? Is that so they know you're not a robot? I guess.
Well, no, because it says if you read the rules here,
Oh,
one
okay,
of them says, in case of a tie, judges will consider writing of the sentence and award competitors. Hold on, this isn't written particularly well. The basic point is that they judge it if there's a tie. This is just really poorly written. No, it's just really poorly written. What they mean is, if there's a tie,
yeah,
the judges will look at the two, and the neatest writing of the sentence wins the day.
No.
That was my view of it.
At best, according to age.
According to age.
Yes, she says. I'm going to read it. I reckon I can get this.
I can understand.
In case of ties, judges will consider writing of the sentence and award competitors whose writing or printing and general neatness are judged best according to age.
So there we are.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to understand that as a 7-year-old. It's so random. There's no it's not science. It's not like a mathematical equation being sort of correctly answered. It's just in the lap of the gods, or in this case, the judges.
And that's what you're after, is it, from a Zoom lobby competition? Some scientific logic.
But I mean, I also like the fact that you get, every time you send 5 lolly wrappers in, you get a free Zoom agent's badge and code message card.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it?
Kids love that sort of thing, don't they? I don't know why, but kids have always loved stuff to do with, secret agent badges and code messages. And, I was looking online to see if I could find one of them, but sadly lost to the mists of time.
Yeah, if they ever got sent out. If they ever
did. Yeah, there's no records. They've been burned in a massive bonfire in the Gardens of Lions made. But nevertheless, an exciting page, an exciting competition. And then we have here something called Georgie's Germs, which is a bit like the numbskulls, really.
It's kind of like the numbskulls, except the germs are on top of his head, aren't they? They're not inside. They're not in his
head. They're on his head.
And again, this is another one where it's a different time, isn't it? Because he's got ringworm. He's got ringworm. And they're going, it's just a kid with ringworm. And again, I looked at it, I thought, well, I've heard of ringworm. I think cats get ringworm.
I didn't really know. I didn't want to know what it was, actually.
Do you know how ringworm can be prevented? Again, a public health announcement here for anybody listening. How can I prevent ringworm? You prevent ringworm by washing.
Oh, okay.
That's how you do it. So
this kid hasn't been washing all morning.
No,
by the look of it.
He's filthy.
And then finally, the final page, in finality, Glug, he's first in everything. So this is about a Stone Age kid from the prehistoric era. And I thought this was much better than the front page.
Yeah.
It's about a little kid who he goes fishing in the Stone Age, so uses a stone and smacks the fish on the head with it.
And he says, well, this is the Stone Age, isn't it? That's great, isn't it? Yeah.
And there's a Diplodocus or a Brontosaurus or something in the background that helps him out. And I thought it was really clever because he ends up getting mud all over his hair. And he goes, oh, no, my mum will be really furious with me. I need to get this mud out of my hair. So he gets the fish that he's caught. And he says, great dithering dinosaurs, he says, as we all say from time to time.
Yeah.
He uses this bone to clean his hair. And he calls it a cleaning out mud bone. The initials are COMB. So I'll call it a comb. How's that for an invention? Pretty good. A pretty good story.
And that was the idea, was that every week he would invent something, and this is how this thing was invented.
Wow, that'd take a lot of brain power to write something like that.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
So, and now we must leave Wham comic for the day.
So what did you think then? What's your overall thought of that?
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I did.
Leo Baxendale was just absolutely superb. The manic intensity of it, that is my sense of humour. I mean, I think I've still got exactly the same sense of humour as I had when I was a kid. Sadly, it hasn't developed in any way. And a lot of it comes directly from what Leo Baxendale did.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, I think, as I say, I think this has really changed my thinking about this, because I was sort of thinking, why is there big on about Leo Baxendale? And I think coming back here to the source of what he was doing, so well, this is if you will, the text of British comics going forward. It's like it all comes from this. It's amazing. I'm
slightly puzzled by why there was no interaction whatsoever in this comic. Nothing.
Maybe that hadn't happened yet. Maybe that was coming. Because
maybe
this is an early comic that we're looking. I don't know.
The Beano would have done it.
I don't know.
Oh, if you know, readers, then let us know. And if you don't, then don't worry about it. But generally, it's a very, very inventive comic, as one of the best ones we've looked at.
Definitely, yeah. and it feels so modern and so
Yeah.
up to date.
If this was on the shelf now with a few deletions,
yeah.
we don't want to talk about. Generally speaking, it would be really good still today.
So cracker there, yeah, brilliant. Lovely stuff.
Good, excellent.
All that remains then is for me to hand over to next time's comic, and next time we're going to the futuristic world of 1971 for The Beezer.
Oh, look at that! Oh, it's like a tabloid site.
It is.
Wow, I look forward to reading this. This looks great, brilliant, superb. Looking forward to it. 1971. Here we come.
Here we come. All right then, everybody. That's all from us.
So until next time, it's good night from me,
and it's very much hello from him.
You got that wrong.
I can't think of what to say there. So
we should script the end.
We should. Bye.
Bye.